we're dancing with stars, riding in fancy cars, hiding in bars, dodging cameras and lawns. Always on top, you be calling the shots. You are the boss, hold me closer because I've been feeling dizzy since our first kiss. Driving through the city, feel the rush of my lips. I need more than just the applause. Ready to fall, risking it all, 'cause Hollywood calls.
All right, that was a bit of a long intro, but, you know, I really wanted to show you guys the track. So this is another series of Making of the Track on the YouTube channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the button that's probably over there. I sound really grumpy. This is a really cool project. This is really almost kind of like almost a last minute project, but not really a last minute project where it was cool because a friend of mine owns a record label, a very successful music producer, and he owns a label called XOX Entertainment. Very, very nice man. And I happen to like one of his artists' tracks that he'd put out, which was called Hollywood Calls, and I had contacted the artist and was wondering if I could remix his track, and it was just one of those things where the artist Calvyn was really cool about it and was saying, go ahead, take a shot at it. And to me, it was kind of a scary thing to do because I find when you're working on projects that you involve with pop artists and stuff like that, or even dance music artists, but it can get to a point where you as a dance music producer, your style might not be understand too much, and that there's not enough words or vocals, or that there's too much instrumentation with it. And you know, it's not a big deal if it didn't get accepted, you know, because you can always do things with the instrumental after. But yeah, it came out yesterday or so, or yesterday or today. I don't know. My mind's just in a blank. Still recovering from the days of film. Have some time off, but yeah, there's just been a lot of positive messages about it. It's always I find super hard to keep your interest within a project that you've worked countless hours on, then eventually to gain your interest back because people are commenting on it and liking it. That is hard, and you got to understand when you're producing music that repetition of something going on in your head can drive you insane. And I think it involves of having a tolerance and knowing that when you've made the project that you like what you've made. When you've made the project, if it sounds good at the start of it and you start to lose interest, you must finish the project. If you do not finish the project, you can miss the outcome of people liking your music. And the only way you're going to get people to like your music or to even listen to your music is to finish the project. You know, if your music sucks, then who cares? Keep making music. That's my thing. And try to make it sound as best as possible. And yeah, this project also within the back end had gotten mastered in through Wave's new mastering AI thing, which is programmed off of a mastering engineer, and you can it's almost like Lander, but I think it's way better than Lander. I think Lander, in my opinion, is garbage for mastering because it has this annoying high end thing, and I don't want to say I don't want to sound cocky and say that it's my mixes aren't like that, but I feel that my mixes are flat and good to work with because I feel they sound great, maybe lacking kick, low end kick, but that's just how whatever. Who cares? But what matters is that people are resonating with your music, and that's what matters. But the Waves thing was cool because you get to pick between three instances or type of ways your song will hit where it's perceived like I can't even remember, and I don't want to pull it up because I'm trying. This video is super raw and uncut. I got no lights here. I haven't combed my hair because I don't care. But I will comb my hair if I have to present myself. But I'm in the comfort of my studio and home. My laptop is right there, sitting right on top of my little headphone compartment bin, and it's a mess here. But that's what it is. So let's enough of the yapping, and let's start with the Kraken. Let's start with just what is going on in within this session, and so everything is basically summed down. Oh, are we? Well, let's. What do we got? There we go. Sorry. Oopsies. So everything from, if you guys have followed the channel or just followed from what I've done, usually everything I work with an X8 Apollo, and everything gets shooted out with 8 different channels into a little SSL mix box, which is just SSL mix box, which is just why am I cracking myself up? Which is just I'm sending the audio through it, and it's coming back out into the tube mix, which comes right to there in Pro Tools. And then I do my little master chain wizardry. There we go. So I do a little master chain wizards tree here. So, this project was composed. Let's see. I composed the project not too long ago. Per se, November 1st. And the thing I find with this project is I took like weeks and weeks to work on it. And then I started getting, the label's like, what's going on? Are you going to make something? What's going on? And it was because I was trying to, a lot of remixes I tend to rip apart and just use the vocal and nothing of the track, which I think is kind of a bad habit of remixing. You're not really paying homage to the track if you're not using, I find, the instrumentals and more things, but I kind of just want to give it its own groove, which they were happy in at the end within it, which is great. But one thing I did was pitch the vocal down, because the key, the track that the key was in, it just didn't feel, I couldn't, for some reason, the theory that I know, I couldn't blast anything out, and I think also like my MIDI chord packs didn't have the key of what it was or something. So I had pitched it down. I don't know if it was to G minor. I don't remember. It's fine. But I pitched it down to something that I was able to work with and work in. And it was only one semitone. And I think it was pulled down, so it's not like it was a super change, but it still is a change, and it was enough that everyone is happy. And there's been nothing but good things said about it, and I hope that it just goes great. But please follow and whatever. But okay, so let's get to the tube mix, which is just a pint here. The usual thing I do here is just the 200 hertz little cutoff here with all a stereo all within the stereo side. So if you're really looking at it, if you're listening, where is my master channel? My master channel. Come on, man. This is not good teaching. Oh. I know some of you have watched this, but this is just for people that are new to demonstrate what it is that this is doing. It's probably best that you're watching or listening on a studio speakers to get the best quality, or possibly good headphones. But I'd recommend studio monitors that are great to listen. So we're gonna listen to this just only in the sides, the isolating there you go, the edges of the stereo image. So listen to this, what this does. So now you can hear now that the bass is more prominent within the isolated sides of the spectrum of the track, versus when this is blocked out, it's not crowding that room. So anything that is stereo is not going to have bass frequencies disturbing it, to make it better. Then we have Safara just giving it that cool width 3D sound, as you can hear in the bypass. Watch this. And all of a sudden, everything gets bright, a little brighter. It gets brightened up. And then we have the one of my favorite plugins. I think this is the best plugin. I think it's worth it. If you're looking for something, it's pretty cheap. It's a Waves plugin called Magma. Basically, for beauty, 3 Beast. Sorry, close to 3 Beast, but you can even check out what this does, and it's a great big deal. So everything is really just picked up in tone, and you can even tell even when screwing around with it, just. Right, so this was really a big part of bringing the whole track out, and it's just like some light things that I've just done to the master. I don't know if it's light, and then I'm turning down the SSL mink to basically pump more saturation to this. And then we have bass room to correct my hack mixing, because I just think that I'm a hack, right? We have the Dance Pop Guru, which this is a plugin by Master in the Mix, and it just helps to correct what I have done, and you can listen to what it sounds without it. So here is with it. Without it, and it's like it's almost sound, and this just kind of opens things up, right? And I don't think it's not done much, but it's just corrected things with my amateur mixing per se. I'm sure if I'd taken this to the car and not dealt with these plugins, it just creates more time to go to the car back and forth. And I just want something that I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on, and it can get done fast. We're in an age that we can use the tools to make us work faster, so take advantage of them. You still have to manipulate them a bit yourself just to make it work for you, to give it a humanized feel or whatever. But you should take advantage of tools that you can use, because we're in a new age to work faster in audio, or you can get left behind. You can probably laugh at me because I'm a guy who's using Pro Tools to produce electronic music, so I guess I'm getting left behind. Shit. So let's just mute this. We'll move to the kick. Let's see. plugins. No. Where? Okay. So I had to do a commitment with printing in Pro Tools because the per se, not the sample rate, but the samples within Pro Tools trying to shoot it back to the computer makes it go off time or something, or it's not. I guess per se, it's like a camera watching a thing where the frames aren't taking pictures fast enough, and so it's like the thing with audio that the samples aren't collecting fast enough, which makes the thing go off this channel go off time. So I have to commit and print it in Pro Tools in order to make it work. Usually, per se, when I'm mixing down tracks, I like to just mix the loop. A lot of people probably don't like doing this, but I like to do it. Is that when I've made the loop, I've organized it in my head, and I've made some parts in the sense the breakdown already within this area, and then I start mixing it down. Just from EQing and stuff. And then when the song's done, I've known that I've balanced all the levels when everything's up. So the only thing left to do is to draw an automation, which makes life a lot easier. I find that before my execution was to make the loop, then organize the track. And then I find it's a more harder time to mix down because you're kind of losing your way of what it is. It's like when you mix it down, I feel it's like boom, it's ready to go, and you can just do it. And I find when I've composed a loop, I usually sleep on it most of the time. There's some times where if I'm really into something, I'll just get it done within that day. But it doesn't. I feel I don't have those days, and a lot of the time I don't really have that time because of being in demand in film. When I'm working, it's just there's not enough time. But yes, so basically what I've done in the kick drum, the leave me alone, stupid phone. Am I gonna have a freeze video? No, I see my hand moving. So this is what I've done with the kick. I have probably used an SSL plugin because I just like SSL, solid state logic. I've given it 100K kilohertz within the SSL, which is probably printed over here. I'm not going to bother to open it because it's going to get a loading and time. But basically, flushed out, taken down the 135 hertz, taken down some type of, I guess, kind of like high, low, mid muddiness or something that just makes something else breathe in. And this is just the bass kind of sidechain compression. Well, not compression, but ducking of a frequency. Every time the bass hits, it's ducking that bad frequency down because there's a frequency and that clashes with the bass to make it more clear. And I just want the kick drum to breathe. Now I use a plugin called Fusser, which is less processing power with Pro Tools, and now I'm able to not process certain tracks and have more control. Because usually it's my bass and my kick that gets this processing, and I just want control. It's better to have commitment because back in the day, if you were producing music on a tape machine or anything else, you had to commit and you had to know what you wanted to do, and your thoughts within how you wanted to produce a track had to be done that way. But yes, so we move into the clap. Just cutting off 200K area and then flushing out with a hump to give it like just this more mid end to the clap. That's without it, and then with, and I mean, right? Just killing all that low end that's there that doesn't need to be there. Then just boosting things up with the Harrison, with a bell, right in here, just the low mids, and boosting up the high mids at 4 dB, 6K here. I don't know if that's like 2 or possibly like 2 at 3.5, but I'm using it's 3 is a magic number, but it's the sense I'm using my ears and then compressing with the LA2A. All the stuff that I'm doing, I know I'm soloing it, but I do not when I'm mixing, nothing is getting soloed individually unless I'm making like a certain room sound for a piano or anything else. But as in when it comes to mixing, everything is going, like the kick. If you're not mixing with all your channels up, but like everything, your volume is your best friend, and then you can start doing the EQing and whatnot and blah 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 blah. Here we've done. I wonder if I did the same thing and it was just like I'm lazy. No, not really. Excuse me. So just kind of ducking things out that were probably annoying. This is just like the off-time clap. Like off-time clap. Ha 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 ha. As you can hear here, right? Just to give the cool disco feel or whatever. Using the Harrison for EQ, almost kind of boosting in the same places, but kind of picking a little bit of the taking a different way with it, then compressing a lot. Just more snap. If you can take a listen. It just kind of snaps it. Oh, geez. Excuse me. Just kind of snaps a little. Geez, I'm really raw and uncut. Not cool. Let's see. Yeah, so brain fog. Where am I? It's so real. So yeah, on to the next clap, which is another off-time clap, as you can see here. These off-time claps have space with them, so it's like, I have the regular clap just goes right. Then I have a clap that interferes every second, then every third, right, which just goes 3 times, which is just kind of like, and then it's like a backwards type of whoosh, right? So just gives it a lot more swing and all that groovy stuff that you want, right? Because I mean, this track is very, very like just a groovy, like yeah, I'm just listening to this and it's cool, man. It's cool. Hi-hat, nothing fancy, just ducking out some frequencies and leaving it to be using the ozone to kind of widen the flex of it. And then some percussion to just drive it for what it is, This is just a hat thing, probably doing the same thing, tucking out some annoying parts of it, then flexing it out with a little bit of width. Then we have the good old like classic. You can't go wrong with a ride. I mean, the rides. Come on. You need a ride, man. You need a ride. Like, yeah. Nothing fancy, like I said. It's just, hello, it's there taking stuff out. Blah, blah, blah. Right? And then we have just more ozoning of just bringing it out to shape things out, per my opinion. Then we have... we just have like kind of like a clap or probably just taking stuff out. See, nothing fancy, just one little EQ. Whoop. Most of the time you shouldn't be getting too carried away EQing, which I tend to do a lot. I won't lie. And then just again, just kind of giving it a little more flex, just like it's a little width of a butterfly and everything looks cool and blah blah blah. Then the distressor kind of to just bring it out a little more, which will booyah, right? Just a little more crack. And then we have just some drum loops to give like that hack rhythm. Per se, it's just a hack to just make things more groovy and easy, right? The track is nothing without these percussion loops. You can even listen now, like check it out. So this is without it, pretty boring, right? Another one. And I know it can be a lot of noise, but it does. I feel I haven't really hopped away from doing this, and I can't really think of a better way to add groove quickly and fast with speed and ease. But basically what I'm doing, I just kind of duck things out, and it's just really just to help the groove, because I mean, like, this is full out, like, kicking everything in there. And it kind of does add a little bit of flavor to the kicks and other things when they're hitting, but, possibly making phase issues, I don't know. But, like, to me, it's just like having the drum loops is like when you're mixing two records together and the dance floor starts grooving. That's the reason why I love when I'm DJing, just to, like, stay within a mix and a drum groove, because I feel like the dance floor likes when you're mixing two records together and they groove to it. I mean, and that's kind of what I feel with, like, this, when you're doing this, is that, like, you're creating, like, that groove environment that people can get when they're listening to you play in a club or a lounge. It's like, oh yeah, he's mixing in the next record. Cool, man. Right? Yeah. Yeah, I feel that just has a lot to help within that record. And then just the typical, like, crash, which is from Vengeance. Yeah, so cool. And then the snare we have, it's a very snappy snare. I think in this track, when I was working with it, I was like, oh, I need to pick a new snare, but I was like, I mixed it down, whatever, I'm just gonna stick with it. I've gotten to the point when it comes to tweaking, stop the beacon. No, like when it comes to tweaking, it's just like, just get the track done. And you know what? I don't know. I just feel if you're tweaking too much, it's just, I don't know. I just don't like tweaking too much. I like to let people listen to things, get their opinions, take in their opinions, and feel if I can improve on whatever they told me. But sometimes I feel some feedback is useless, and that's just my opinion, but I feel you should still take the feedback in and then interpret it, and if it's going to improve something the way you want to do it, then do it. I mean, I think even Rick Rubin has even said, it's like, if you're making music for somebody else, it's going to shine that you're making it for someone else, versus if you're making it for yourself, then you're containing a style and making your own style if you're making it for yourself. I find the problem is when you're making music for yourself in a way, depending how your style is, and if it's not similar to something, then it might take a long time for people to catch on. But the way that I look at it, people will eventually catch on to what you're doing if you're doing it long enough. Now, I'm not one to speak for that, because I'm just some guy, really, that just makes music. But you can even just tell with people that are distinct, that are out there in dance music, that are either the Skrillex or the Deadmau5s or anybody else, that people like that were very their own style of things. And if you're totally different, it can be a great thing, but you got to work that much harder to get out there. Because, I mean, if you even look at Deadmau5's catalog, which is stuff that's on Play Records, it's like 300-400 songs, and like that's a lot of producing, right? So just think of it, if you're making music, that it's just going to take time, you know? And to me, I'm just enjoying it. That's all it is, right? Just enjoy it. Okay, next one. How long is this video? Because we don't want to be like forever. Okay, we're like 30 minutes in. God, oh no. So this bass here, nothing fancy. This is actually a slap bass from Splice, royalty free. You can use it, so there's nothing wrong with using it. But basically, because I was in the key of what I was doing, I felt like this bass, I felt it really could have used something, and I was also kind of influenced by like a guy, the DJ Low Steppa, I think is the DJ's name. There's some tracks that he's been making, and it's kind of, I feel like even the terminology is kind of like a little bit of an influence that's within this track from just listening. I was influenced by those DJs, but especially Low Step at just how there's incorporations of slaps and some remixes that he's done. So I figured like, oh, this is the track to do it on, because it really, a lot of it is kind of like a call and response deal type thing, right? So it's like not a lot, but right, the bass is, it creates the call and response thing. It's not like a lot, but it still is. And then we have the LFO just side chaining things, right? And then we're just ducking things out with the bass and bringing things up. I don't really think I did anything with this because it was already a processed sound, and I didn't want to manipulate things more, because what's the point? It sounded good already, so I was like, yeah, cool. Here, just ducking certain frequencies that shouldn't belong, and stereo frequencies that could possibly live within this spectrum, within this area, if other instruments want to take over this area that are more in the high-end area. But just separating spectrum so the speaker can have better movement, trim for certain areas of the track to gain things down, right? And this is more just in here within the breakdown, just to create more tension, right? 'Cause the volume's going up, right? It just, right? So it just creates more tension within the track, just to kind of like little mixing things. And like, yeah, it's all a really simple mix, nothing crazy. I probably had used the saturator on this. This is one of those other tracks that had to get printed because of the sampling within Pro Tools. Then we have on the organ an LFO tool. EQing things out and then coloring it with the API EQ. I feel the 7K, some kind of like high mids 4 dB, more 5K area, just kind of sparkling, not really sparkling things up, but making it more perceived to the ear. And then the 15K to sparkle it up. Sparkle, sparkle, Mr. Sparkles. And then I think I'd use the compressor in here, just to tickle a little. Let's go over to the organ. Okay, maybe it's nothing. I thought it was. I thought I had it tickling. Let's see. No, I think it's just like on for no reason. Whatever. The Oriole Exciter, just to give it more just brightness. And it's like it's dead without it, right? I always use the Waves Oriole Exciter. It's just never seems to fail. Big part of the toolkit within mixing to mold sound better. The one knob, which I could probably do this effect in excuse me, in oh god, I can do this with Fab Filter, but to me, I just use this plugin because it's quicker. I don't need to think, and I can just make it automate right away. And then, as you hear, oh, it's because it's freaking muted. But basically, what this filter thing is being used for is to just filter it now, as you can hear now. Just for the mix out for the DJ so he can mix in the next track. Then we go on to the melody, which I think I might have used MIDI Wizard to kind of like make it, and then I started moving MIDI notes around to do it. So this is per se, it's not AI, it's just a generator. They like to market it as an AI thing, but it's a generator. It's okay. What are we looping here? So, excuse me. This is the M1 keyboard sound. That's a lead that's just in there. Riding fancy cars, man. And yeah, like everything's just a call and response thing from how the song's put together. And then just that classic like strings thing. This is a Rolling Cloud plugin, some type of like string synth. And yeah, it's got the LFO on it to give it the sidechain pump. And we're just blocking some things out and giving a little more, some compression to kind of buff it up a bit. And not just to make it it's just boring without it. This is just to like kind of give the more, you can hear that it's giving it more movement. I didn't say anything about what I did here, but I'm probably using Fab Filter on the melody thing to block things out as usual, and then I use the UAD plugins to color it with the analog stuff. And that's what I like to do with the UAD plugins that I have, is that I'll use Fab Filter to get the mud out, and then the UAD plugins will draw in the color of just the cool analog warmth that's fake, that is emulated to make it sound cool, I guess. Is there a difference? Such each his own. Float your boat. Do what makes you happy. Who cares? What I'm doing right? I don't know, but it works for me. I'm just sharing it. And then we have the breakdown part with the Rhodes. This is another, excuse me, an M1 keyboard thing here, and then we're using the LFO from X for Records to do the sidechain thing again. And I think from each channel they're doing different things from how smooth it is going, and this is just for not having the clicks in general. It is on the 4, so I mean the kick drum's hitting, but you don't want the clicks in, excuse me, a lot of gas in your tracks. And then taking up more frequencies. Then I'm using another, this is the Hitsville EQ, which is from Motown Studios from back in the day. So like Marvin Gaye records were made at this studio. Cool emulation plugin, but really just pumping out some low mids, bringing out the mids, and some treble at 5K, which is kind of perceived to the ear a little, and then that's it. And hiya. Then we are just compressing things, right? I think just tickling most likely. Yeah, there you go. I feel like it kind of just, this compressor gave it like width and colored it nicely. And then the usual, just the oral exciter. It's just my best friend. It's my best friend. It's my best friend. My best friend. And you can just use it and it sounds great. See? It's just nothing without it. The song sounds dark. So get yourself an oral exciter because it's great. Yeah. And then we have the piano. You can hear all the effects that I've done on it, right? I think that's probably also the Infinite plugin kicking in on the master because it's starting to raise up. But yeah, blocking some stuff out. Maybe a little too much EQ taken out, but whatever. Sounds good to me. EQ in for the... Oh, it looks like I kind of just did a hack little thing, and I guess I manipulated things. You can see there's compression here. I don't know what I did and why, but that's a hack job again. Maybe it's me want to get things done, but maybe that's a hack job. I don't know. Then we have the 1176. Basically for more movement, right? You can just hear like, it starts to tickle your ear a little more and it gets cooler and cooler. Then we have oral exciter, right? It takes away, it takes away that dark sound where it's like, I feel it's like there's this mask. It's like, yeah, it's crazy what it does, and I still just don't understand what exactly it's doing. I just use it, and then we have to top it off. There's just like not very many effects. Just the piano reversing, right? That's like the Rhodes, and then we have like just the actual piano reversing. Yeah, and then we have just like a riser, which is made with the plugin called Riser, right? And then Infinite is doing the rest of its work here. Adding delay and all that. Adding to it. Oh my God. So yeah, Infinite is just doing its thing. And I push program a couple of things where it's like the width it's getting more narrow. And then when it gets over to the climax and it's doing this, and then it gets bigger. And then also I'm turning the gain down so that it hits, there's a bigger impact. So watch, you can see that the gain is starting to turn down, right? Blah, 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 blah. Down, blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. It's going down, it's going down, it's going down. And then, yeah, and that's just to make the impact more, because just more louder, because the effects at the same time too are kind of pulling the lufts up a bit. It just kind of perceives a little louder, so it's good to even do that, I find. And excuse me. Sometimes it can be noticeable, so you gotta be. You can't get too carried away with that. And I won't lie to you, I tend to get a little carried away with it. So then we have like the vocal here, which I probably did not do much work to it. It was more just EQing because there was already enough work done on it. Because this is a very excellent. Like the track itself is a very excellently mixed and mastered song. So there's not much touching. It was more like using little Ultra Boy to change the key of the vocal, which is just, I think, one semitone. Yeah, there you go. Right, you can see there. And then just EQing things out, like the dirt that was just, I thought was there, or in case it was there, it shows us that it's there, right? So I was just kind of doing that, and then just trim. Excuse me. And yeah, it's just there was a lot of things, and I really wanted to work with the original key because the original song is a really cool song. Like just like the piano, just how they recorded things, I thought was so amazing. Like it was like the piano sounded like it was just this out of tune piano that I don't even know if it was a piano, but it's like it was a guitar that sounded like a piano. I don't know, but there were some really cool things that I wanted to keep within it, and I couldn't do it. And that's just me being like a hackabee musician. I'm a computer musician. I tell that computer what to do. But you know, the outcome is great. People are happy and they think it's great. And you know, I've been playing it out a bit, and I will continue to because I like it. And then we just have like the typical. This is to do with the drums. This is like an aux running through. And then booyah booyah, blah, just taking out some bad stuff and the stereo image stuff that probably could exist, and then just giving it a nice compression within the drums, right? Here. Oh, come on. No, not here. You doof buff. Blech. So, and yeah, that API compressor brings a lot. Like it kind of makes the drums a little in your face. If you're looking on your computer, you're not going to hear what I'm doing, or you're not going to hear what's happening to the sound. Then we have just the instrumental compression aux that it has its own channel, as anything that's to do with bass or any instruments gets put into that aux and it gets shot out as stereo, and then the EQing of it in case there's something going on, and then we compress that and squash that down to just a 3-to-1 ratio, right? And you can see the needles just it looks like the vocals really taking over the compression of it, the most of it. But whatever. It's cool. It works. It's just a mix bus just to give more flavor. You can even to me, it sounds like it's given the vocal a little more control, and it's not just peeking out all over the boards. Mainly, I guess, because I didn't really do anything there, and I think I did that just so it was just a quick thing. There's probably like, oh, here we go. No, that's Vox delay, Vox push. Yeah, so Vox push was probably doing most of the. I'm not sure about this plugin, but I think it's kind of a saturator EQer type of thing. But I had used it and then kind of like bumped out some of the annoying frequencies that it pulls off. Yeah, and then we used the hits chamber on the vocal. I do like this. I do like this reverb a lot because it is quite cool. Because a lot of the time I find like when I'm using this, I like to have it in a mono or stereo, and it really can give character to a vocal when it's going, as in like you have one vocal, it stays in the middle, and then when all the vocals come in, like your backgrounds, I automate it back into stereo, and it just has, you can really just hear it happening, that the track opens up in certain areas, especially on breakdowns. I love using it on a breakdown where you have just the one vocal, and then all of a sudden the harmonies come in and the reverb's gone stereo, and you can really just, it's like, oh, it's like just the hairs go up on the back of the neck, right? Then we're just sidechain compressing, so every time the vocal hits, the the reverb's getting like flushed out a bit. Just giving the reverb a little more control. Then we have like 1 second delay time with the mode of its stereo, right? Stereo out. And then kind of just controlling that delay again. And like I said, the vocal pushy push. So there's like 3 different auxes for the vocal. And then it gets put back into that instrumental compression again. The organ delay, just to give it its own space within the track. Come on. If I solo it, it is somewhere here. God dang it. Let's see. This is without it. And then this just, it's like a little more like, candy to the ear, right? So just some nice ear candy, and then more kind of like delay for the melody. Without this, the melody kind of sounds boring. This effects really just give flavor to things, right? This is without it, right? So there was already a delay, so I didn't add one because you can obviously hear it. And then just adding the room, I think just adding the room kind of just like gave it space within the mix, I find, I guess. So like here. So this is without it, right? And then with. It's like I find this reverb gave it like a pillow like background within it, and it's just like you can really, when listening, it's like this is this space and I have this space, or like the instrument is going, I control this space of the stereo field and you can have that, and then we don't have to fight because you can hear me and I can hear you and we can all play nice, just like how people should be in the real world, which they're not, you know. Ha ha. Then we just, I did add a delay. You liar. So it's a ping pong delay. Maybe there is no delay within it. So I lied. Wow. Sound people are liars. Audio people are liars. Okay, let's see. Okay, so never mind. There wasn't really. I think there was like a slap delay that's originally on it or something. Because I do like know with like the M1 sounds, there's always like some type of little bit of like whoop, whoop, like ear candy with it, but it's not much. But it's like I always want to color it more. Probably gets ruined because like you're EQing stuff or whatever, right? Yeah. But yeah, so there's a ping pong delay to just give everything more like, hey, I'm here. It's just instruments to claim their territory. And then I think we're like almost done. And then we have like the piano effect, which is in the Capitol Chambers room studio in LA. Cool emulation. I went to Capitol Chambers studio and then came back to Vancouver and recorded a piano sound and came back. So this sound's worth a lot of money. And this really gives it its room. The classic way of recording room was to put speakers in there and record it, and then go on the console and turn it up or down, right? There you go. And then just, I think, more ping pong delay. Just 1/8, just to get crazy with the ear. And I think it just gives it more like, right? Just gives it that like, do the Harlem Shake. Yeah. Just kidding. Yeah, I mean, that's it. I do let's see. Let's just get ready to go. Not bad. 54 minutes. So yeah, thanks for like tuning in. Let's like bring this screen in so like we can really see everything and how messy the studio is and how everything's here. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel. And if you enjoyed it, leave a comment. If you hated it, go ahead and leave a comment. I don't care. Am I going to cry about it? No. Go ahead. Go ahead. Just go ahead. And give it a listen on Spotify and enjoy. And make sure you follow me on Spotify. I have fun making these videos. And if it's educational to you, please give me a message. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the videos, and if there's like something that I don't know, if there's a song in my catalog that you would like me to do that I haven't done, I'm more than happy to do it. It just won't be fun for me digging into the sessions if they're too old, but sure. Thanks for tuning in. I really hope you guys enjoy this. Bye.